I'm really excited. I've got a stencil that I have been dying to play with, and it was kind of fun because Darren and I kind of were brainstorming one day, and I told him I loved the idea of this stencil, and so he went ahead and made it and got it approved, and so this is what came of that. So it's time for us to play with that. So this stencil is called Sweethearts, I believe. I'm going to tell you for sure.
Oh, Sweethearts.
Yep, it's called Sweethearts. Not one word, it's 2 words. Sweethearts. And I do know this is available. Also, today as I'm going along, Darren will put up a link that will link to everything at one time, that all of the supplies that I'm using. So you don't have to try to watch all of the links pop up. That's going to save a lot of room for more chat, and also it's just going to make it more convenient for you. So go ahead and use that link, and everything should pop up on one screen, and you'll be able to just kind of click on the things you're interested in. Who said hi?
Donna.
Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining today. Glad to have you here. It is snowing like crazy here in Lubbock right now, and it is going to continue to snow for the next few days. So that's kind of a fun. I haven't seen snow like this in several years. So I'm excited we're getting some actual respectable snow now. Okay, so one thing I'm going to use is these are the Slimline Perfect Blend panels. So I've got the panel itself, and then I've got these. I'm almost out of these. I need to reorder. I'm on my last one. Good thing I have another one. Okay, so this is the card panel itself, and this is the card panel itself, and this is the pre-cut card base. All right, so we are going to start with our card panel. I actually cut this one down. Let me show you one other thing before we really jump into the heart of everything today. This set is called Slimline Sentiments, and it's got all of these different sizes that you can cut for Slimline. No, I'm good. I'm watching.
Okay.
For Slimline cards. And we're going to use the smallest size, and then we're going to skip a size, and that's where we're going to get the mat for this. And then this is the pre-cut panel that I already showed you, the ones that come already packaged, that we're going to use to stamp on. So we'll start with that. Let's just get going. Let's get going having some fun.
Jackie says hi.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Brandon says hi.
Hi, Brandon. Thanks for joining today. Okay, so we are going to... We're actually going to cut this down. I just grabbed this because it was convenient. Usually I just cut them out of... I have all the sizes, I think, because I use this paper almost exclusively. I love it so much. I do a lot of coloring, and this paper is perfect for that. It blends perfectly for markers, for pencils, and inks, as you will see. So my mat is definitely seeing a lot of action. I will tell you I learned something. I'm going to tell you the bullet that I took for you. So I'm a big pixie spray person. I've used it a lot in the past before the mat. So I was having a hard time just trusting the mat. I'm going to tell you, when I watched Christopher, he said, you don't really need pixie spray. I'm going to tell you, do not use the pixie spray, because I had trouble with it kind of, the glues kind of going together. And when I cleaned it too much. And so right here is not sticky. But that was a user error. You really shouldn't need the pixie spray if you are using your mat. So I'm just telling you because they're fairly new, and I made that error for you. So now you don't need to. Okay. So we're just going to make 4 of these hearts. I just want to show you how they come together and how easily.
Move the camera.
I moved the camera.
It's crooked.
There we go. I'm going to show you how easily you can get just really fun results on these little hearts. So I'm just going to use, I just like using Post-its because they're just, are easy to just pop on and off if I'm going to move them, if I'm going to do a lot of stenciling. And we are going to do a lot of stenciling. So let's just do that. I don't know why I was trying to do a fancy angle. I don't need to. Okay, so we are going to start out. We're going to use Simon Hurley inks today. Also, we will use some Raven ink, but not till later. So we'll start out with the Simon. How is everybody? I feel like I'm talking a lot and getting all jumping into everything, and sometimes when I do that, I lose the opportunity to visit. What was that?
It's raining in Pittsburgh. It's supposed to be pretty bad for the next couple days.
Ooh. How cold is it in Pittsburgh today? So I've got pink. Is this pink cheeks? Sidewalk chalk. Sorry, I looked at both and I ended up using the sidewalk chalk. So we're going to start with sidewalk chalk. And I'm just going to use that with my blending brush. And you're going to have to forgive me because when I do blending brushes, sometimes I shake my camera a little bit. So it may be snowing here, but thankfully there aren't any earthquakes today. Knock on wood, right? All right. So you can get it as juicy as you want. You can go as light as you want, or if you want to keep layering it, this ink does layer really nicely. So I definitely want a little more color than I'm got that first go. And I want to make sure I'm not covering up any of the image. Nope, we're good. And I'm just going to go through one more time for good measure. And I feel like we've got that pretty well covered. So we can put our sidewalk chalk to the side. So now the next color I'm using is Love Struck. And I always like to start on the side, maybe a little bit off of the paper. What was that?
48 Pittsburgh.
48 in Pittsburgh. How cold is it here today?
20.
It's 20. Woo! No wonder we're chilly. And then I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit more oomph by just kind of giving it a little bit of shadow.
Donna's got to watch the replay. Waiting TV's still out. She can't hear it.
Well, Donna, we'll catch you on the replay. I'm glad you stopped in and said hello anyway. We need to catch up. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty good. And we're going to come back after and we'll do the inside after. But for now, we're just going to do all the solid hearts. So we'll just peel off our, I guess I don't even really need to peel them off. We'll just move the stencil. Yeah, I didn't think that through. That would have been just as easy. But I'd never do anything the easy way first. I swear I have to do it the hard way first. Okay, I just want to make sure we have enough room for all of our hearts. Okay, so the next colors that we are going to use are, let's use these ones. Let's use Guppy and Roar. Both of them are in an orange family. So I'm going to start with Guppy because it's the lighter of the two. And here I told you that I start on the sides usually, and I jumped right in on that one. You know what? I started, yeah, this is right. Okay, sorry. I almost grabbed a different color first, and it threw me off. It's a snow day tomorrow?
Yeah, it's got an email.
We just got an email. There's a snow day here tomorrow. If that gives you any indicator of how much snow we're expecting to see. Got my errands done today. Right now we only have one car because when we moved here, Daniel's car got totaled, and so he's still saving for a car. So that makes life interesting sometimes. You know how it is. Okay, this is Roar, and this is our darker orange, and we're just going to put a little bit of that. Again, just kind of giving it a little bit of a shadow. Add a little interest to our heart. Gina said that? Christina. Oh, Christina, I bet they're crossing their fingers hard.
They said they got 6 inches of snow since this morning.
Wow.
Supposed to have another 6 to 8 tonight.
That was Penny?
Yeah.
Oh, Penny, that's a lot of snow.
So they have snow day today.
Yeah.
Some of them already called Friday, so.
Wow.
Half a week off.
Well, it's good we're getting some moisture, right? Okay, so this time we will move this over a little bit. Like I said, I'm giving this mat, I'm like the best tester, product tester ever, because I am totally using and abusing my mat.
After last year, I can't handle them being virtual. It drives me nuts.
I kind of wondered if the kids are very excited about when I was saying, oh, I bet they're crossing their fingers. The next thought that came to me was, oh, they might not care as much as they used to because they have had so much virtual school. They probably like going to school better than we ever did. I grew up in Utah, and I have to tell you that people had to be, I mean, it had to be blizzard conditions almost to get a snow day. I can probably count on maybe even one hand how many snow days ever that we had. At least that I can remember.
I grew up in Canada, we never had snow days.
Darren grew up in Canada and they didn't get them ever. By the way, this color that I'm using is Over the Moon. All right, so we are done now with our Over the Moon. So now I'm adding, this is called Shooting Star. This is my favorite Simon Hurley yellow, I think. It's just this bright cherry yellow. Just makes me happy. All right. And now we will move on to my favorite blue of Simon Hurley's, which is Clear Skies. Did I run out of space on my paper? I may have. That's okay. If I did, I do have a backup. I came prepared with a backup. When you remove things from your mat, it's best to just kind of peel your mat away from your paper rather than peeling your paper away from your mat, if that makes sense. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can fit it on there if I'm fancy. And is it worth it? Sometimes it's not worth it. Nope, not worth it to me. So we will just grab another piece of white. Okay. So now, let's get that last heart. We will do, let's see. Need to get our Post-it on there. And I didn't leave a lot of room for this sticky mat because I used such a big piece of paper, but I think that's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to use Clear Skies. I'm going to turn this so that make sure I'm in the camera view so you can see what I'm doing. There we go.
All the links are in the collection.
All the links are in the collection that Darren put up. So everything that I'm using, you can just pop it all right up at the same time. And I think this has always been my favorite color of the Conversation Hearts. I just always thought it was a pretty blue, and I think this Clear Skies looks Looks a lot like the ones that I've ever seen. But who actually likes eating conversation hearts? I have to know, because they aren't my favorite. I think they are like chalk. But it seems like people either really like them or really don't. But I buy them every year for decorations or whatever, because that's just part of Valentine's for me, I guess. Okay, I think that's pretty good coverage there. And then we will go over that with a little bit of Remember Me.
Lusana says hi.
Hi, Luisana. We are using the Sweetheart stencil. And Simon Hurley inks. Okay, so now let's go to the next step, which is going to be really fun. We are going to give this heart a little bit more pizzazz. So let me just move my Post-its around again. And this time, let's start out with, I think it's my favorite one. I think we should start with our leopard. So let's just add some Post-its to cover up our stencil spots that we don't want open. And then just need to line that up a little bit more. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit of washi, just because, like I said, I put such a big piece of paper on my mat that kind of defeats the purpose, but that's a user issue. Here is my washi.
Lusana said she hates the taste of conversation hearts.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know anyone who likes them. I'm not saying that those people don't exist. Obviously, somebody likes them. They're the cutest Valentine candy by far, but they just don't taste good.
Lusana asked what you're making today.
Oh, Luisana, I was just saying I'm going to make a card using this stencil called Sweetheart Stencil. And a bunch of Simon Hurley inks. Okay, so now I'm going to use some Raven ink.
Kelly says the color is beautiful.
I like this color too. And we're just going to add some black.
Dina said her kids love feet, but she hates them.
You know, that's because kids don't mind the sugar, I don't think, as much. Like, you know those donuts that have the sugar sprinkles on them? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but those are like my very least favorite. However, I do like a good cinnamon heart with a little bit of sugar on it. Those jelly cinnamon hearts. But I have to tell you that I am not finding a brand I like that much. I used to like one that I would buy when I lived in Utah that was Sweets brand. Do you guys ever buy Sweets? And they were nice. They had enough cinnamon. These ones that I bought this year are just like flat. Maybe it'll cure me of my cinnamon heart addiction.
And they're the one treat no one shares with you.
Yeah, they're the one treat I can have that my family doesn't bug me for. Because no one else likes the cinnamon. Well, I guess technically cinnamon bears would fall under that category too, which I do love. All right. Let's look and see what we got here. Look how cute. Now I didn't worry too much about masking it too much because we're cutting these out, so it's not a big deal, but if you want to use them directly on whatever without cutting them, you're going to want to make sure that you've got that covered better than I did. All right, so look at that. I love that heart. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now let's do our red one. That one seems like it should be our main heart to me. So that's where we'll put our sentiment. So this stencil is so fun. It has all of these different sentiments you can choose from. We're just going to go with the direct basic here. And we'll do love you. Might need a couple more of our Post-its. And if you have a different technique you like to use, it probably I say whatever works for you is good. That's what I think. And for me, this is what's working right now. Okay. So now we will grab our blender again, and we're just going to do this in black. But you could use white, you could emboss it. If you use embossing ink, and you know how that goes.
Use red like candy.
Yeah, you could do red tone on tone like the candy is. Well, it's red if you're using the red. I guess it's red on all of the hearts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never really thought about it till now. Okay, so we're done with our raven for now.
Jackie said she loves stencils with lots of uses.
Jackie, I do too. This is a fun one. I'm excited that it worked out so well. Okay, so now we've got our love you on there. I think that's so cute. I think we need to put some stripes on here. Let's add some stripes. I feel like I just want to clean this off a little bit just to make sure it's not going to muddy up any of the others. Or actually, I'll just simplify it even more by just cutting that one off so it's not even a factor. So we'll just do the orange one next. And we'll do the stripes on that guy. Push our stencil down. See, we've got more space on this one because we don't have such a big piece of paper. Just want to make sure I have it lined up correctly. And it's okay if it's a little bit off. It's not like a major deal, but really you can get pretty darn close with this stencil. And let's add some of our Post-its. So what I'm going to do with this one is I just wanted to keep it mostly in the orange family. So I'm just going to use what's in my brush for now and see how dark that is. If it's not dark enough, then we'll go ahead and add a little bit more color. There's quite a bit of color in here. So I think what I'm going to do is concentrate on the edges and kind of go a little bit lighter in the middle. I think I want to do just a tiny bit of ink on this. So I'm going to get my Love Struck and I'm just going to kind of tap it in there a little bit. And then we'll go line the edges again. Just about have it, I think. I think that's probably good. Okay, so let's see what we got there. Cute! Isn't that fun? So now we've got... It is amazing how much ink stays on the brushes. I love blender brushes. They're a lot fun to work with, and they just make blending so easy. Okay, we're on our last heart, and we are going to use this cute honeycomb.
Donna R says hi.
Hi, Donna. How are you? Long time no hear. At least a week. Okay, so now let's move this over a little bit. We want to get all of our, we don't really need to mess up our paper any more than we need to, right? Okay, so now we're going to take our orange brush and do the same thing. Let's see how much ink is in it before we worry about anything else. Oh my goodness, yes, they always clip together and yeah. Yep. I managed to keep it for quite a while before it broke, and then alas, that day finally came. I kept hearing people say that they break, but
Donna said she's good. Cass, how you're doing?
I'm doing well, Donna. Thank you. We're enjoying the snow here today. So I just am adding a little bit of guppy. I don't want to go too dark on this because I want it to be more in the yellow tones. So I'm even going to go over it one more time with yellow just to brighten it up just one more time, just to make sure I've kept it vibrant. I'm using the shooting star color again. Okay, so let's look and see how that guy turned out. Yay! Look how cute. Okay, so I may have already cut these out. I'm just going to show you all of these one more time. And you can imagine how many different combinations you can come up with. Loving these. And especially if you want to cut them out, you could move the stripes around. But if you want to do them like directly onto your card base, you're going to want to be careful to mask them, and you know what I mean. You kind of saw. So the next thing, I may cut one out just to show you one quick thing that I did, because I didn't have a die for this. Probably off camera, knowing me when I fussy cut.
Hello.
Who said hi?
Pamela.
Hi, Pamela. How are you doing? Darren has had a little bit of a cold, and so his voice has just a little bit
For like a month.
of a crackle in it. And guess I'm getting old, and I'm deaf anyway. So between the two, forgive us if we, or me, I should say, if I don't get your name right the first time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my Raven ink and my blender brush, and I'm just going to go around the edges. And you could do it with a lighter color. You could probably just spend more time cutting it out. So I'm still getting the hang of where the camera is covering. It looks like I need to come this way a little. Maybe. Yes, okay. So that is what we've got. So I already have all of them cut out and inked so that we can go on to the next step on our card.
It says you're telling Maria today. She loves that technique.
Oh yeah, Maria does. It is a good technique. It's just a definite, like, it just saves you. You don't really notice the edges so much because it's already kind of distressed. And I love anything that is forgiving. Anything that works for less than perfect edges, less than perfect whatever. Because I am definitely less than perfect more times than not. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the panel that we cut with the smallest. This is the smallest die from the Slimline Sentiments die set. And I'm just going to move those to the side for a second. And what I'm going to do, speaking of, I think it was Jackie that said it's amazing how much ink is left in your blender brush, right? Isn't that who it was?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so now I'm just going to get some water. I think you can see that, yep. And I'm going to take my blender brush and I'm going to try to get some of that ink out. I have a few different inks in here, so it's probably not all going to be black. There's probably some grays, probably some distress ink, and some regular inks.
Gross.
Hey, you do what you got to do. And I'm just going to water it down a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take the paintbrush. I may even need a little bit more water than that. There we go. Just want it nice and loose. And I am just going to splatter my card base. And this is nice. If you like a clean and simple card, this is not going to be your favorite technique. I apparently don't like to, I'm not as comfortable with the clean and simple. I like a little bit of schmutz and craziness on my card. So now we've got our little card base, and I've got one that's dry, and apparently I went a little crazier with that one. And I cut out a black card panel with, I believe we skipped a size, maybe it's not. Let me look and see. We've got our smallest size, which is the white. And then I was going to skip a size, but maybe I decided not to. Nope, it looks like it's just the next size up. So good that we checked that. So it was just, we didn't skip a size at all. And then we're going to go ahead and fold our card base. Let me just get my crease tool. Hang on one second. Hoping that all my specks stayed in my bucket since I just laid my clean white card base down. Looks okay to me. So let's go ahead and adhere these together. So I'm going to put my white paper down. I'm going to open it up again. It's probably actually easier to just put the whole base on there. Let's just do that. Let's just get it on there and get that part done. See if I can get it somewhat centered. We're close, but I think we need to come that way just a little. Hopefully that's pretty close. And now we can see where to put our next panel. I just kind of liked the dramatic look on this one. I was going for the just kind of bold and fun. So now we can adhere all of our little hearts. We're just going to put them right in a row. Look how simple and cute that's going to be. Just way easy. So we're going to put our two end pieces on first, I think. So I'm going to tape this side of my heart so I can kind of move the other two around if I don't have it quite straight to start out with. So let's see if I can kind of get that in there. Maybe about right there. Move it over just a little, maybe. Maybe about right there. Yeah, that looks about right. So much for that, it's not even staying down. I didn't push it down. So we'll just add our other little piece. See if I've got that about right. Works for me. All right, so you could add a little ribbon or whatever on that, but I think maybe we'll add a couple of little jewels maybe. All right, so I'm wondering if those are a little too fussy. And it looks like I need to stock up on my... Who said that?
Donna.
Donna, I'm actually leaning that way because I'm not really feeling these. I think they're a little too fancy. Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of like I think it just needed one last little bit of pizzazz, and I kind of like them all around the sentiment. So I think we'll just kind of concentrate on that corner and let that be good. All right, let me just grab my glue. Okay guys, did you notice today on the site, Barely Art glue is now available at Brutus Monroe. You know how I love this glue. I was pretty happy to see that. And I don't have my detail grabber too handy. I guess I could get it if I want to, but where we're only doing 3, I think I can handle that. All right, and we'll just call that good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys are all ready for Valentine's Day. I had so much fun making Valentine projects this year that it was hard for me to let one more week go and not do that one last project I was able to squeeze in. So I will have something not Valentine Day related next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. What was that?
Donna said she can't wait for her kid.
Oh, Donna, I will show you. I just got mine today. I haven't opened it yet. You know exactly what I'll be doing once this is ended. I will be sitting down, checking things out. But also, if you are better than me, which probably most of you are, there will be actually an unboxing on the, I have to look at the calendar. I want to say it's the 11th, where Christopher will go over all of the items in the kit. So if you want to just kind of amp up your suspense, it might be fun to wait and open it at the same time. I am not that patient, so I will not be that person, but definitely watch that anyway. Then you'll know that you have everything in your kit, and it'll be a lot of fun. Well, I will see you next Wednesday with a new project, and I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.